Hi there. Today I want to talk to you about brainwashing and how much you identify with your own sex and what you are brainwashed. You have been brainwashed over the years how you need to conduct yourself as a man, as a woman, versus finding out whether you are in a situation where it's appropriate for you to do something that might otherwise harm you. And that needs thought, that needs presence, that needs so much of giving up of all those thoughts that are brainwashing, all the brainwashing. That's what you need to get rid of, because the brainwashing has made you identify so strongly with your sex as a man or as a woman that you do not know how to be otherwise. And this is why in my book I talk about embracing your true identity. Here's my book, Wired for Self Love, and I talk about embrace your true identity. Now, a lot of times what happens is men tend to stay in a miserable marriage because they say, oh, I'm there for the kids. I am doing this for my wife and my family. I understand completely that men need to find purpose. And if they find purpose, they stick with it. That helps them feel more like a man. But what if you are in a toxic relationship? How is that helpful for you? It's not helpful to be with a partner who is not in alignment with you. Yes, nobody went into the marriage saying, I am going to go down the path of divorce. Nobody does that. Nobody in their right mind ever does that. Okay, so to say that you have to stick it through and suffer through it, and what am I as a man if I'm not able to take care of my wife and my children? How good am I a man? What is my purpose? All of those things, identifying so strongly as a man is helpful to serve you and to a certain extent. But if you find yourself in a miserable marriage and you still say, I have to stick it through, otherwise what are people going to think of me? Oh my goodness, look at him, he left his wife, look at him, he left his children, all of those things. And yes, I also understand that divorce is not something that favors a lot of men, so it can be hard, it can be challenging. But is it worth staying in a miserable relationship? That's my question to you. And you will find purpose. Now, why is it considered brave if a woman is able to do that and leave her abusive husband? But if a man does that, it's considered cowardly. Look at the brainwashing. It's so biased, right, toward the fairer sex. But this is where you need to question, why is it okay for women to do certain things and why is it not okay for men to do the same things? If so much for gender equality and all of those things, I do not believe in that at all. I understand men are there to serve a purpose, and I understand women are here to serve a purpose, and they both need to understand how they can work with each other to have a family, and their values need to be aligned in order for them to be working together in a marriage, because a marriage is sacred. It's two beings coming together, making a family and serving their children and making better human beings, giving those human beings to the future. Nothing can be more of a sacrifice than that. But is that sacrifice with the right person? That's something you need to think about. You know, as men, if you identify so much with your sex and say, I'm a man, I have to stick it through. Why? That's my question to you for today. So when it comes to your identity, you need to find something that serves you as well as others. If it's serving others and is not serving you, it's really not helping you, and you are in a toxic situation. And you are going to be miserable. I have been through myself in a miserable situation in a relationship, and I understand it is very hard to break out of that. You're going to think, what is my family going to think? What are my children going to think? What is everybody going to talk about me? All of those worries have a place, but if your own well being is important to you, then you need to stop looking at what other people think about you, because they are not paying your bills. They are not responsible for your happiness. You are responsible for your happiness. So stop identifying with the brainwashing of how men are supposed to be, how women are supposed to be, and be in touch with who you are and embrace that identity. From that, you can become the person who you always wanted to become. If I stayed in the miserable marriage, today I would not be probably an author. I would not be talking to you. I would have no purpose talking to women about relationships and helping men and men and women find relationships. I would not be doing that because I have not done that for myself. So it's not right for me to keep on sticking it through just for the sake of a few other people, sacrificing my own happiness, my own well being, and my entire self. Can I serve as outside from outside of that marriage? Can I still be of service to my child? Can I still be of service to my ex if they need me as the mother of the child? Yes, I can. Can I be a good mother to my son? Yes, I can. It's not the amount of time that we spend, it's the quality of time that we are spending with our people that matters. So you can let all of those things, that external things that you have no control over, you can let those things bother you and worry over those things, but it's not going to be helpful for you in the long term, because you will become bitter as a person. You will become more and more lonely. People feel more lonely inside of relationships that are unfulfilling than when they're alone. I saw this in my own marriage, and I saw that when I was single myself. When I was alone, I was with myself. When I was in the miserable marriage, I wasn't even there for myself. I couldn't be there for myself because I was so miserable, and thought that I would have to stick it through. And I am glad I did not, so that I can help other people step into their own power. So do not go with the brainwashing of how you're supposed to be in your identity as a man or as a woman. Think for yourself what can help you serve in the highest way. Can you serve outside of a toxic situation? If yes, please step into that, and you're going to be so much happier in life. I wish you all the best and so much success.